Someone in your life right now is manipulating you. You probably don't even realize it. That's the point. They don't yell. They don't threaten. They don't leave marks. They smile. They seem reasonable. They make you feel like you are the problem. This is called covert psychological manipulation, and it is one of the most dangerous things a human being can do to another. In the next 8 minutes, I'm going to show you the 7 signs that someone is doing this to you right now. By the end of this video, you will never look at certain people the same way again. Let's begin. Psychological manipulation is not loud. It doesn't announce itself. It seeps in slowly, through your self-doubt, your guilt, your need to be loved. And by the time you realize what's happening, you've already lost pieces of yourself you can't easily find again. Researchers in personality psychology have identified a cluster of behaviors that manipulators use across cultures, relationships, and even workplaces. These are not theories. These are documented patterns, and once you see them, you cannot unsee them. The first sign is gaslighting. You remember something clearly. You were there. You heard it. You felt it. You lived it. And then they look you dead in the eye and say, "That never happened. You're imagining things. You're too sensitive." This is gaslighting, the systematic dismantling of your perception of reality. The name comes from a 1944 film where a husband dims the gas lights in the house, then tells his wife she's going crazy when she notices. Manipulators use gaslighting because it works. When you can't trust your own memory, you have no ground to stand on. You stop trusting yourself. And when you stop trusting yourself, you start depending on them. That dependency is exactly what they want. You did everything they asked. You changed. You apologized. You tried. And somehow, it's still not enough. That's because the goal was never for you to succeed. The goal was to keep you trying. Manipulators constantly shift their expectations because a person who is always reaching, always failing, always apologizing, is a person who is always under control. This is called moving the goalposts, and it is a form of psychological torment disguised as reasonable expectations. You'll recognize it by how you feel, exhausted, like no matter how hard you try, you can never quite get there. That feeling is not a flaw in you. It's a trap they built. In the beginning, they were perfect. Intense attention, constant affection. You felt like the most important person in the world. Then something shifted. Slowly, the warmth was replaced by coldness. The affection became conditional. And you found yourself working to get back to that feeling, that first feeling, chasing something you can't quite reach. This is called love bombing, followed by intermittent reinforcement. Psychologists have known for decades that variable reward schedules, getting something sometimes, unpredictably, are the most addictive pattern in human psychology. It's the same mechanism behind slot machines. They made you addicted. Not to them, to the version of them they showed you first. Healthy people express hurt. Manipulators weaponize it. There's a difference between someone saying, "That hurt me," and someone saying, "Look at what you've done to me," with the full weight of their suffering placed deliberately on your shoulders. Manipulators are masters of manufactured guilt. They will bring up your past mistakes at strategic moments. They will perform suffering in ways designed to make you feel responsible. They will sacrifice their own needs publicly loudly, so that you are indebted to them. And here's what makes it so insidious. You're probably an empathetic person. You care about the people around you. They know that. They are using your compassion against you. Your empathy is not a weakness, but in their hands it becomes one. They have something to say about everyone in your life. Your friends don't really care about you. Your family is toxic. Your coworkers are jealous. Slowly, without you noticing, the circle of people you trust shrinks, until the only person left is them. Isolation is not accidental. It is the foundational move of manipulation. A person with a strong support network is hard to control. A person alone, with no one to reality check what they're experiencing, is extraordinarily vulnerable. If you find yourself thinking, "They're the only one who really understands me," ask yourself who taught you to think that. They mention other people, deliberately, specifically, to make you insecure. An ex who always understood them. A colleague who appreciates their work. A friend who never makes things complicated. This is called triangulation, introducing a third party to create jealousy, insecurity, and competition. It keeps you in a state of low-grade anxiety, constantly proving your worth, constantly afraid of being replaced. The comparison is always vague enough to be deniable. "I'm just talking about them. Why are you being insecure?" But pointed enough to land exactly where it's meant to. It is not accidental. Nothing they do is accidental. They remember things differently, always in their favor. Arguments that you clearly won become arguments where you were the aggressor. Moments where they were cruel become moments where you were overreacting. Over time, the entire history of your relationship is quietly rewritten, and in every version, you are the problem. This serves two purposes. First, it protects them from accountability. Second, it makes you believe you are fundamentally difficult to be around, which keeps you grateful just to have them, despite how they treat you. This is one of the most psychologically damaging things a person can do to another, because memory is how we know who we are. When someone corrupts your memories, they corrupt your identity. 7 signs, all of them quiet, none of them leaving marks. If you recognized yourself in any of these, if something in this video made your chest tighten because you realized you've been living inside one of these patterns, I want you to hear this. The fact that you can be manipulated is not because you are weak. It is because you are human. Manipulators do not target weak people. They target people with empathy, people who try hard, people who believe others are capable of change. That is not a flaw. That is something worth protecting. The first step is seeing it clearly. You've just taken that step. If this video helped you understand something you couldn't name before, share it with someone who needs to see it. It might change their life. And if you want to go deeper into the psychology of the people who do this, why they do it, and how the dark triad of personality really works, subscribe. Because that is exactly where we're going next.